on the issue of our guest for today. As our guests come in, inshallah, we'll be introducing them to us. So we'll move to the next item on the agenda.
Allah shower your blessings. Allah shower your mercy upon Rasulullah.
So inshallah, before we move to the next item, let me quickly recognize all invited organizations here, starting from Ansarudin Society of Nigeria, Ebute Meta, Ansarudin Society of Nigeria, Akoka branch, NASFAT, Shomolu Bariga branch, Form 1, Makoko branch, Asalatu Mujahidun Makoko, Al-Muminat Organization, Mainland Local Government, Al-Muminat Organization, Shomolu Local Government, As-Salatu Al-Haq, Jamahil Society of Nigeria, Jafak, Shomolu branch, and Rosheoluwa As-Salatu Division 2. You are all welcome. We appreciate your coming. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His infinite mercy reward each and every one of you. You are recognized. We appreciate your presence here. And we pray that Allah in His infinite mercy do not deny you the reward. Jazakumullahu khairan for coming. Thank you.
Upon Rasulullah, Allah shower your mercies upon all our humus, upon our leaders, upon our household. Allah shower your favor upon everybody, upon our children, upon our husband, upon our masina, upon our sulasa, upon all of our guests.
Please, I would like to know if
As-salatu for Nabi.
Please,
As-salatu for Nabi.
Thank you. Please, I would like to know if
As-salatu for Mustafa.
Hajia Sharifa Ajagbe. Please, ushers, kindly check if she's around. Hajia Sharifa Ajagbe, Amira from Lagos State Chapter, our mother of the day. Please, ushers, kindly check if she's around. Hajia Omolokore Adeleke too, Amira Nasfat. Our spiritual mother for the day, Hajia Nima Abdulatif. Our chairperson for the day, Hajia Suwaiba Tusoliu. Then our exercise specialist, Hajia Afsa Amini Koyi. Jafak Shomolu. Jazakumullah khairan for coming.
You are all cited and recognized, Mass.
Please, is Hajia Afsa Amini Koyi around? Hajia Nimatala Abdulatif. Are you around, Ma?
Okay, she's.
Hajia Nimatala Abdulatif. Our one and only Yadini. Are you around, Ma? Amira Nasfat, Hajia Umolokhara Adeleke. Our mother of the day, Hajia Sharifa Ajagbe. Inshallah, when they come around, we will invite them to the high table. Jazakumullahu khairan. We are also expecting Hajia Shakira Juma and Hajia Dr. Mujida Olagunju. Yes, she's already on the high table. Dr. Olagunju is already on the high table. Jazakumullahu khairan. Yes.
So, inshallah, the next thing on our agenda is the welcome speech from our able, our one and only coordinator of all Ummahaat. Kebirullah. Please remind me her name. What is her name? Eh? Our coordinator's name. Okay, Ajia Barikis Owolewa. Marhaban, ala wasala.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. All praises and thanks are due to Him alone. May His boundless mercy and continue to shower upon Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his household, companions, and generator of Muslims until the day of judgment. I warmly welcome you all to this year's Ummahaat Day, an occasion that reminds us of the significant roles we play as Muslim women and mothers. This year's event theme, devoted Dynamo, reflects the delicate balance required to fulfill our responsibility as wives, mothers, professionals, or entrepreneurs, and our activities without neglecting any aspect of our duty. No. It is a call to channel our energy and commitment towards excelling in every role while not ensuring harmony in all our affairs. This balance is achievable when we prioritize effectively, rely on Allah for guidance, and constantly remind ourselves of the virtues of a productive and purposeful life. Our first lecture will be delivered by highly esteemed personality, Dr. Bakare Nimotalai Adefunke, whose academic and professional accomplishments reflect her dedication to excellence. Dr. Bakare will unpack the concept of a devoted dynamo and offer practical advice for striking a balance in our multifaceted life. Now, following this, we will be enriched by the expertise of Coach Maria Mojisola Sholate Eshiloku, who will address wellness and healthy living under the topic Journey to Wellness, to ensure we remain physically and mentally fit to carry out our responsibilities. At this point, I must address some alarming issues of worry. Recently, the maltreatment of children, particularly public flogging, has raised significant concern. Under the provisions of the Child Rights Act, such acts can lead to severe legal consequences, including the loss of parental custody. As Muslims, we are guided by Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam words. Allah is not merciful to those who are not merciful to others. Let's adopt method of discipline rooted in compassion, wisdom, and Islamic teaching. Equally worrisome is the conduct of some Muslim students wearing the hijab who engage in indecent acts on social media platforms in a bid to follow a trend known as retro challenge. As a reminder, the hijab symbolizes modesty, piety, and faithfulness to Islamic values. Mothers must take it upon themselves to admonish and guide their daughters, ensuring they understand the spiritual essence of the hijab and uphold the sanctity of Islamic symbol, including the hijab, and refrain from misrepresenting the values they signify. As we pray for World Hijab Day 2025, theme Hijabis of Silence, encourage all to celebrate and share stories of resilient hijabis who continue to break barriers while maintaining their modesty and faith. Let us highlight the academic, professional, academic, educational and social achievements, fostering a narrative that will inspire and uplift the younger generation. I extend my deepest gratitude to the Amira of MSSNLagos State Area Unit, the person of Ajia Rofia Tijani, our distinguished guests, coordinator of area councils, members of Ummahaat coordinator, members of the Ummahaat coordinator for their presence and contributions. May Allah reward us all abundantly and accept our effort as an act of worship. May this event be a source of enlightenment, inspiration, motivation for us. May Allah make it. Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let us respond to our Teslim now. Coordinator ń kí wa, wọ́n sálámọ̀ sí wọ́n yẹ ká dáhùn sálámọ̀. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Market close, please. All marketers, vacate the market spot now for Allah's sake. You are distracting the program. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká wọlé. Àwọn tá à ń ra nǹkan náà, let us stop buying for now. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all our strivings. Kọ̀dí owó lẹ́wà ni kọ̀dí wa. Kọ̀dí owó lẹ́wà ni. Ó yẹ ká ti mọ̀. Kọ̀dí rẹ̀ ká wo bó ṣe tó. Sọ tẹ̀lé mi. Júwe kọ̀dí rẹ̀ ká wo bó ṣe tó. Iná nẹ́ẹ̀pà yàtọ̀ sí làǹtàn kò jọra wọn kọ̀dí ju kọ̀dí lọ. Mi ò gbọ́ o. Kọ̀dí owó lẹ́wà ni kọ̀dí wa, júwe kọ̀dí rẹ̀ ká wo bó ṣe jẹ́. Iná nẹ́ẹ̀pà yàtọ̀ sí làǹtàn kò jọra kọ̀dí ju kọ̀dí lọ. Jazakumullah karama. Ọlọ́run á túbọ̀ fi yín síbẹ̀ fún wa. So inshallah the next thing is the first interlude. Short interlude, a video clip.
What?
Àwa lálẹ́ tún ń ṣe ayé yìí, àwa lálẹ́ tún ń ṣe. Ẹ wò ṣe rí báyé jókòó yẹn, ẹ jẹ́ ká máa fa nọ́ńkà lé àwọn tó wà ní áńgù lọ́hùn yẹn kó máa bá wa máa tètè máa ráwọn ṣe yẹn ṣe àwọn kọ̀ọ̀kan ní ìdàdúrà so that a máa lè gbádùn program yìí. Fídíò yẹn sì ló yẹ ká show ṣùgbọ́n a ní challenge kékeré kọ́lọ́hún kó jọ kó bá wa dáwọ́lé gbogbo ẹ̀ kó jẹ́ kétò yìí kó lọ ní wúrọ̀wọ́ rẹsẹ̀. Àwa lálẹ́ tún ń ṣe ayé yìí, àwa lálẹ́ tún ń ṣe. Mi ìfẹ́ ní ká dìde ni o. Mo fẹ́ ní lè fi ni. Dìde. Àwa lálẹ́ tún ń ṣe ayé yìí, àwa lálẹ́ tún ń ṣe. Ayé tó bàjẹ́ yìí, àwa máa lálẹ́ tún ń ṣe. Ìlú tó dàrú yìí, àwa máa lálẹ́ tún ṣe, lálẹ́ tún ṣe o, lálẹ́ tún ṣe o, lálẹ́ tún ṣe o, ayé yìí àwa lálẹ́ tún ṣe. So, we want to call on the first lecturer if our video is not ready. Is it ready, sir? Please permit us to call the first lecturer. Are you okay with that? So after our lecture, inshallah, the video shall be set, and it should be set by that time. And we are all going to enjoy it.
Now, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Before I call on our lecturer, I would like to appeal to each and every one of us. Mothers, are you all with me? I want to quickly make an observation. I know that this place is not the most convenient place for us.
Yes, so.
We have sacrificed and we are presently and currently sacrificing in one way or the other for this program to be successful. Ejo, one of the main reasons why we are here today is because of the lecture. Most times when we come to Ummahaat, or maybe sometimes when we use this venue, there's always distractions here and there. That is why I appreciate my colleague telling people at the marketplace to please close the market for now, so that we can all concentrate on the reason why we are here. I can see some of us fanning. I know that we are sweating. May Allah accept it from us as an act of ibadah. Inshallah, may Allah count it among our good deeds. So I want to appeal to us to continue to endure. We have just few hours left to end this program.
The more we endure, the more the reward.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Quickly, please, our mothers at the front row here. We want to.
Okay. So,
hope you are safe there. Marketers, please stop selling. Buyers, please stop buying. Market closed for now. Ejo abewani.
So inshallah, I'm going to go ahead with the citation for our lecturer today. Ejo mo fẹ́ bí mo ṣe ń kà lọ yẹn, mo fẹ́ kẹ́ máa bá mi fi ọkàn bá mi lọ, so that you know that our lecturer is equal to the task.
Well loaded.
Citation for Dr. Bakare Nimata Adefunke, OND, HND, BSc, PhD, MNIM, FCIPM. Now, so Dr. Bakare Nimata Adefunke was born to the family of Alhaji Ibrahim Najimdin Adebayo and Alhaja Sherifat Rosemary Ibrahim as the fourth born and second daughter of the family of 9. She hails from Ogbo in Odo, Bolu local government of Lagos State.
Mashallah.
She began her educational journey at Orile Igomu Primary School, Orile Igomu, Lagos. She attended Coca Secondary School for her junior secondary school and Marywood Grammar School for her senior secondary school. Ajia Dr. Bakare Nimata Adefunke then proceeded to Moshood Abiola Polytechnic for her national diploma and higher national diploma, where she received different awards as the best student in OND and HND program full-time, as well as the best graduating Muslim student. Kabirullah.
Allahu Akbar.
She proceeded for her BSc in Business Administration and graduated in 2014 with a first class. Takbir.
Allahu Akbar.
She received the award of the best graduating student in the Department of Business Administration. Based on her outstanding performance, she was granted direct PhD in management. Her research interests are sustainability of small and medium-scale enterprises, knowledge management, innovation, and entrepreneurship. She joined University of Lagos, Akoka in 2011 as a senior executive officer and rose through the rank and fell to the position of a senior assistant registrar.
Mashallah.
Apart from the administrative work, Dr. Bakare is an adjunct lecturer in the University of Lagos and has published journal both locally and internationally.
Orí ìwọ òwò.
Ajia Dr. Nimatala Adefunke has also attended several academic and professional conferences. She has affiliations with different professional bodies. MNIM, member, Nigeria Institute of Management, Chartered, FCMP, fellow, Chartered Institute of Public Management, and Women in Management Association.
Allahu
She is
Akbar.
currently the treasurer for Women in Management Association, University of Lagos chapter.
Allahu Akbar.
Haja Nimatala Adefunke belongs to different Islamic organizations and professional bodies. She was a female president, Muslim Corpers Association of Nigeria, Northeast, female president, Muslim Student Society of Nigeria, MSSN Ogun State. She was national secretary, Al-Muminat, the Believing Women
Mashallah.
Organization, to
Mashallah.
mention but a few.
Mashallah.
She has special interest in counseling, reading, discovering new things, helping people. Her skills include team building, conflict resolution, research, public speaking and
Allahu
presentations,
Akbar.
emotional intelligence, among others. Hajia Dr. Nimatullah Adefunke is married and blessed with children.
Allahu
Kabirullah.
Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Kabirullah. Kabirullah. Màmá wa pẹ́ láyé. Màmá wa pẹ́ o. K'Ọlọ́run bá wa kẹ́ màmá wa pẹ́. Wà pẹ́ láyé.
Okay.
K'Ọlọ́run bá wa kẹ́ màmá wa pẹ́. Ajá Aziza Gidigbi, our former Amira, we recognize you. We are using this medium to call you to the high table. Please join us. Marhaba ala wa sahlan. So let us be calm. Let's bring out our jotting materials, our writing materials, anything writable, let's bring it out. Our mother here is fully ready for us, and I assure us that we are going to learn maximally, inshallah.
So inshallah, I will hand over the mic to our lecturer now. The topic, devoted dynamo, inshallah. Dr. Nimatullah Adefunke Bakare will inshallah do justice to the topic. Ejo, I want to appeal to each and every one of us once again. I know this place is hot. It's hot for everybody. Inshallah, may Allah make it cool for us on the day of judgment. So Ejo, please let us pay attention and let us give her the best honor, which is to be quiet while she is talking. Eshe gan, eshe pupo.
So, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We give thanks to Almighty Allah for sparing our life till today. We know it's not by our strength, nor by our power, rather by the grace of God. And we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should continue to spare our life and make us witness
Let's say
more
Ameen.
years in this life.
Allahumma Ameen.
So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi
So, I don't
wa
need to do
barakatuh.
too much introduction. At least I've been introduced. So, we can just go to the lecture. So, the lecture is going to be interactive. So, I just want every one of us to listen. And it's going to be mixed. Although what I was told is that it's going to be in Yoruba. But I think it would be better if we mix the lecture, because we might have some people here that might not be able to comprehend Yoruba. So we'll mix the lecture. So looking at what is here, we are told that the topic of our lecture is devoted dynamo. When we say devoted dynamo, I know when you heard about the theme, you'll be thinking, you know what devoted is. Is that not right? But that dynamo is another thing on its own. You'll be thinking, what is the meaning of dynamo? Is it dynamo? Is it dynamics? Is it dynamism? So many thoughts would have come to you. But looking at this, I think is a perfect lecture for today. Because the moment you are not a devoted dynamo, in this dispensation that we find ourselves, you are nowhere. You won't fit in anything. So let's just go through this lecture. So when we say devoted dynamo, what is dynamo? We are learning to know that also this dynamo is rooted in a Greek word called dunamis. It's a Greek word that is called dunamis. And when we look at the meaning of dunamis in Greek, we are learning to know that dunamis, that is a dynamo, means a great strength. When you have strength, when we are told that this person has strength, you know what it means. Ẹni tó ní agbára. Akíkanjú èèyàn tó ní agbára ni. Sometimes you might be tall. Sometimes you might eat every day. Sometimes you might do so many things. A máa jẹun, à ń sùn, à ń jí. But you just realize that strength is not there. Every time you wake up, you're always tired. You don't just feel like doing anything. You know that is a big problem. So when we're talking of dynamo, it means the person the person has strength. The person has power. Power to do anything. Power to carry what even she's not even expected to carry. Ẹ mọ̀ pé lómi tó bá rò pé gbé kòròbá kékeré, ó mọ̀ pé wòmí ìnágbára jàre. Ẹ gbé báàgì yìí. This bag is too heavy, I can't carry it. But when you talk of a dynamo, give her anything on heart to carry. She's ready to do that. So let's spin those words because I'm going to ask you questions. Then when you talk of ability, that ability to do so many things, that is a dynamo. When you talk of ability, ability means to fit into so many things. When they are looking for people to do anything, they can give you. When you want to read Quran, I know she has that ability to do it. When she wants to do a lecture, she has the ability to do that lecture. When they don't want to give any assignment, she has the ability to do it. It means that dynamo, the person you're talking about, has the ability to fit into different things. Just name it. You always find her there. You won't even question anything she does. She has the ability to do it. She's a mother. When you give her a child, she turns that child miraculously into something you'll be proud of. That is her ability. A wife, she has the ability to turn that lazy man to somebody people will see and look at her. MRT change you. That is that ability. In a place of work, she has that ability. In anywhere you find her, she has that ability to do anything. Then that God's power. Ẹ kàn máa wò pé ó ń kíbọ̀, ó ń rí kíbọ̀ ni. Ó ń fi sí, ó rí ń fi sí ni. Ó ń ṣe, ó ń wọlé ni. She can't even explain how she does that thing. But it's what? It's God's power. Ọlọ́run ọba ló ń lùlù fún lẹ́yìn tóun ń jó níwájú. That is a dynamo. She's miraculous. She's marvelous. You know, when we are saying something about that lady, she's just marvelous. That lady, she's just miraculous. You know, she does things that is not even expected. Things that is even beyond your thinking. Things that you believe no woman on earth can do. You understand? She will do it. That is a dynamo. Ẹ má kàn máa wò pé ṣé èèyàn leléyìí ni àbí màláìkà ni? Because you won't even be naturally kò yẹ kíyàn ṣe. She's that kind of person ó lè gba létí. Èmi mi ò ń ṣe ọmọ lọ sílé lọ gbọ̀rọ̀ wá ni màá gbá méjì tèmi padà. You now look at her that she's just too calm. She's just too gentle. She has a listening ear. When you need her help, she gives it to you. When you want anything from her, she does it. Even when she is busy, she does what? she give you her time. Even when she needs something, if you ask her, even food, gbogbo la mọ̀ bí oúnjẹ ṣe wọ́n, oúnjẹ tó yẹ kó jẹ gan, kí ló máa ṣe? Ó máa gbé fún ẹ. She does miraculous things. She does marvelous things, which àwa gan fúnra wa, a máa mọ̀ wípé mi ò lè ṣe. But that kind of person is what? Is a dynamo. Tabatuwo, she's somebody with divine power. She has this power that God, all those things I've mentioned, is divine, that God has bestowed on her. God has bestowed on her based on some major factors. Then she's unique and she has outstanding characteristics. Among those ones I've mentioned, she's just unique. You just realize that she's unique. Ó yàtọ̀. Tó bá ṣe, ó máa bẹ́ ẹ sọ̀rọ̀. She talks to you. She doesn't gossip. She doesn't stay behind people to backbite. She expresses her feelings willingly and freely to you. Ó máa jẹ́ ẹni tó jẹ́ pé tẹ́ bá ṣẹ̀, ó máa wá bá yín. Ọ̀rẹ́ mi ò dẹ̀ ṣẹ̀ mi o. Ó dẹ̀ ṣe nǹkan báyìí fún mi o. Mi ì sí ẹ̀rọ kún ẹ̀ lá at all. She's that kind of person that you won't even say she does that. Tó bá sọ ma pé kò lè ṣe, kò lè ṣe ni. Àní ó ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀, àní kò lè ṣe ni. Ṣẹ́ni tí mo mọ̀ yẹn, àní kò lè ṣe náà. Bó ló ṣe ń gba wájú ẹ̀ báyìí, kò lè ṣe. Ẹni tí mo mọ̀ yẹn kò lè ṣe. Pé that's that kind of person we are talking about. She's unique in her ways. The way she does her thing is different. And that outstanding characteristics that you can hardly find in people, she does what? She has it. And she handles difficult tasks. Ọ̀wọ́n iṣẹ́ tó wọn ò lè ṣe. Òun ló máa di pé a nídìí gbogbo tax ọba nídìí yàn lọ́wọ́ máa fi sí. Ẹ mú Sister Mariam. A tún fẹ́ ẹni tó fẹ́ lọ báyìí, ẹ mú Sister Mariam. A fẹ́ ọ máa di pé ẹ jọ ṣé Sister Mariam nìkan ló wà ní? You don't have any sisters in this your area except for her. It's based on what? It's because she's a what? She's a dynamo. Because she has possessed those qualities in her. Tó ti jẹ́ kó ṣe kí ni o, tó ti wà outstanding. So when we continue looking at devoted, devotion. When you say somebody is devoted, extremely loving, loyal, caring, concerned, dedicated, dutiful, zealous, faithful, thoughtful, just name it. Pé àwọn tá à ń pè pé ó wà devoted yẹn, akíkanjú èèyàn tó jẹ́ pé ó jẹ́ nípa pé ó máa ń nífẹ̀ẹ́ èèyàn, ó ní àwọn àmì dáadáa lára, ó ní àánú lójú, ó ní àánú lọ́kàn, ó nífẹ̀ẹ́ Ọlọ́run ọba ẹ̀. Tẹ́ bá dẹ̀ fún níṣẹ́ ẹni tó máa fi ara ṣiṣẹ́ ni, ẹni tó máa fọkàn tán, tẹ́ bá fi ọkàn tán ni, tó bá fi tẹ́ bá fún níṣẹ́ ni. Kò ní jẹ́ pé ẹni tẹ́ máa fún níṣẹ́ tẹ́ tí máa rò pé ṣé 30,000 ta kó fún yẹn, ṣe wà ṣọ́ọ̀pù nà san ṣá. Ṣé kò ń ṣe pé ó kó 10,000? She's not that kind of person. She's that kind of person that you give an assignment and you do what? You go and sleep. Pé ẹni tá a mọ̀ has been devoted nìyẹn. She's truthful. She doesn't lie. And she makes her heart plain to everybody. Next slide, please. She makes her heart plain to everybody. So looking at the Islamic concept of dynamo, to define what a dynamo is, which I believe by now you understand. Then the next one is devoted. When we bring everything together, I'm a devoted dynamo. When you want to say a devoted dynamo, any is a devoted Muslim who completely submits to Islam and his teachings and follow his rulings and instructions. Devoted dynamo. She's what? She submits totally to Islam. Let's understand. She enters into Islam wholeheartedly. She gives all her life to Allah without leaving anything outside the tenets of Islam. And she does what? She follows the rulings and his injunction. Kò ń ṣe tó máa sọ wípé eléyìí ni faith èmi gbé. eléyìí ni máa ṣe ṣe rí the other one tẹ́ ń sọ lẹ́yìn yẹn èmi ò lè ṣe ọ̀hún pé devoted dynamo ń ṣe yẹn gbogbo òfin tọ́lọ́run bá ti sọ pé kó ṣe ló máa ṣe even if she cannot do it sometimes ó máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀ tẹ́ pé we are told to do something by Allah within yourself you know you can't do it a devoted dynamo will have to go back to our Lord and weep to him oh Allah nǹkan tó sọ pé kí n ṣe yìí ó ju agbára mi lọ ìwọ Ọlọ́run bá ràn mí lọ́wọ́ fún mi ní that strength and that ability to do that ọ̀hún pé nǹkan tá a mọ̀ as devoted dynamo nìyẹn now she is a person that doesn't reject what Allah has prescribed in the Quran and the Sunnah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam she doesn't reject anything even if she cannot do it she still have that hope pé òun máa ṣe kí ni o òun máa ṣe tó o bá lè ṣe ó sì máa ní ọkàn wípé a time will come Ọlọ́run bá máa ṣe kí ni o ó máa rọ̀ mí lọ́rùn fún mi láti ṣe not that person that negates everything tí Islam bá sọ or she picks part of what she wants and leave others and talk about it no but devoted dynamo is not that kind of a person and looking at no then according to the Quran we are learning to know that she's somebody that surrenders to Allah his command and believe in the pure Tawhid which is what the oneness of Allah wọ́n fi yé wa pé àkídà ẹ̀ kò ń ṣàkídà tó wọ́ gbogbo nǹkan tó bá dẹ̀ fẹ́ ṣe torí Ọlọ́run ni and that's why we cited the case of Surah Al-Anbiya verse 52 to verse 57 wọ́n fi yé wa pé tá a bá fẹ́ wo a Muslim that is devoted bàbá wa Ibrahim alayhi salatu wa salam lọ́ fi ṣe kí ni o lọ́ fi ṣàpèjúwe fún wa that when you talk of devotion á dẹ̀ máa rí pé nínú Islam when we talk of devotion they make reference to who Prophet Ibrahim because he's who bàbá àgbàgbọ́ ni is our leader and what leader by example ni wọ́n fi gbogbo alámọ̀tán anábọ̀ Ibrahim tó fi yé wa wípé during that time he told his people ó ṣe jẹ́ pé òrìṣà yìí lẹ́ ń ṣe kí ni lẹ́ ń sìn what was their response ta ló mọ response wọn wípé nǹkan táwọn bàbá òun ń ṣe ni kí ni o òun làwọn ń ṣe that we are doing what we saw our forefathers doing that's why we are worshiping idols then he plotted against them what did he do ọ̀n pé ó mú gbogbo òrìṣà wọn he does what he destroyed it except one ó wá fi axe ó fi sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ then when they came asking he said ask this big one he should be able to tell you what happened to others you know their response they said but he cannot talk then he asked them so you worship something that cannot talk you knew that this cannot talk and you still go ahead worshiping and they plotted against him ọ̀pọ̀ máa ṣe kí ni o ọ máa sọ sínú náà you know what Allah did he instructed the light kókó ṣe kí ni o kó tutù fún he was devoted all through his life and the meaning of devotion is that the moment you are devoted to Allah you always find Allah behind you no harm nothing bad will happen to you if you are devoted and you are sincere with your devotion Allah will always be with you wherever you go you always find Allah whatever you do you always find him even if you are in a problem Allah will stand before you he will stand behind you he will stand on your right he will stand on your left he will stand above you and he will stand below you telling you that I'm here to help you because you are devoted to him meaning that if you are a devoted dynamo definitely Allah will definitely be what Allah will be with you so if you want to fulfill the condition of dynamo you must have that faith which are understanding certainty acceptance submission truthfulness sincerity and love òun ló ń pè ní ideological makeup wa you must have those characteristics for you to be a devoted dynamo if anything here if you don't have it it will be extremely difficult for you to fulfill it because if you don't understand what Islam is how do you want to understand what we want to do I could remember then when I started Islam I always tell this story it's just a matter of lack of understanding. Because I don't know much about Islam. So nǹkan tó máa ń ṣe when I'm praying, tí bá ti ń kírun, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé mo wá só lórí ìrun. For me, I know wípé àlùwàlá mi ti bàjẹ́. Màá lọ ṣàlùwàlá mi. Tó bá pé third raka ni mo wà, I will start my prayer from that third raka. I will just pray one. I will do my salamo and I will go. Because I have prayed 3 before. Àlùwàlá mi dẹ̀ bàjẹ́. Mo kàn complete ẹyọ kan ni. Mo dẹ̀ salamo. Is that understanding? So telling us that the moment you don't have understanding, we have problem. It was when I now have that understanding and I laughed and I said, so gbogbo ohun tí mo ti ń kí, Ọlọ́run bá kó ṣe kí ni o, kó ṣàforíjì fún mi nìyẹn. Nǹkan tó wá pé tí yóò bá nímọ̀, ó máa ṣe nǹkan tí ò yẹ kó ṣe. Àwọn lọ́wọ́ bá máa wà tí bàbá máa ń sọ pé ìmọ̀ ló nàdínì, ọgbọ́n orí ògbé. Tó bá dé òbí òwe ẹ̀yìn ìyàwó ẹ má bínú o. So that is just it. That is just the truth part of it. If you don't have knowledge, you're going to find yourself in a mess. You're going to have serious issues that you can't even comprehend. Your certainty, your acceptance, your submission, your truthfulness, your sincerity. You must be sincere. And that love, you must possess that heart that loves Allah and loves everything which Allah has created. You must. So, in conclusion to this, she's a spiritual lady. And she's a good character-based lady. What did I say? She's a spiritual lady. And what? A good character lady. Tá bá wo nǹkan tí mo ti ń sọ láti wájú, a rí pé nǹkan tó lè tí wọ́n bá follow path yẹn, the moment you are not a spiritual lady, you are not a dynamo. You are not a devoted one. If you are not a good character-based lady, it's a big problem. So we have to be very careful. How is our heart? Let's ask ourselves. Ask yourself within, silently, how is my heart? Is my heart a good heart? On the day of Yom Al-Qiyamah, can I boast of this heart before Allah? Am I somebody that my spirit is always high? When it comes to Allah, ṣé máa ń jẹ́ ẹ̀rọ nǹkan tó dáa? Láàárọ̀ yìí, ṣé mo kírun? Mo kí, ṣé mo kí bó ṣe kí n ṣe kí? Ṣé mo ṣe àṣkárù mi? Ṣé mo ka Kùránì mi? Ṣé mo ṣe àwọn ọ̀bádà tó yẹ kí n máa ṣe? Those are things we have to ask ourselves. And it's not you reading your Quran alone. When I read my Quran, does that thing have impact on me? Let's question ourselves. Tí bá gbé Quran mi tí bá ń kà, do I feel anything? Do I feel that I'm reading Quran? Or I just read it? Mo gbọ́dọ̀ sọ pé kọ́ máa kà lèmi náà ṣe ń kà. Mo kàn mọ̀ pé àwọn pé ìwé kan wà tíyàn lè kà ni mo ṣe ń kà. No. Even if it is a page you can read on your Quran, read that page and let that page have impact on you. Then she's a lady of good character. What is your character? Let's ask ourselves. Even amongst your sisters here, can they vouch for you? Ah, Sister Kafila, no, she's wonderful. Ah, no, she's great. In the neighborhood you live, in your community, can they vouch for you? Can they say your best character? To your children at home, can they say my mommy is the best mommy on earth? Then to your husband, when he sees you, how does he feel? Does he see stars? You know, sometimes when man loves a woman, stars does he see stars? To your parents, to your relatives, to people, who do they see you to be? So those are things you have to ask yourself. If I'm a devoted dynamo, it means I need to be spiritual and have good character. So example of devoted dynamo in Islam, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Gbogbo alámọ̀ ròyìn ànábì wa. So many good things were said about him. His mission and everything, that he was devoted. His moral character was outstanding. So we need to emulate those people that were before us. Most especially the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He does good things that he was known to be Al-Amin. For you to have called somebody Al-Amin, olódodo, ó wí pé ọmọ àti dé level kan tó ṣe kí ni o, tó ṣòdodo. Ẹ jẹ́ á béèrè lọ́wọ́ ara wa, ṣé olódodo ni mí? Let's ask our heart. Let's question our hearts. The best way we can change is to question yourself. You should know yourself. Although people can act as mirror for you, but kò sí ọ pé òkùnkùn ò lè ṣe kó nílùú má ṣe kí ni o, kó má mọ̀ ọ́nú ẹ̀. Are you truthful? Are you truthful to yourself and truthful to others? A ní láti mọ̀ yẹn. Looking at that is well, then in the case of prophet, let me just go to prophet, then in terms of his character, gbogbo alámọ̀tàn, due to time, don't let us dwell too much. Wọ́n fi hàn pé he lived with people in his community to the extent that they loved him and they appreciate him. Is it the case of a woman tó máa ń ṣe kí ni, tó máa ń dàdọ̀tí sẹ́nu ọ̀nà ẹni? When he saw someone dàdọ̀tí sí, he would not say anything. Ọ̀n péjọ tóbìnrin ò dá sí, kí ni Ànábì wá ṣe? Sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ó wá lọ́lé, a máa rí yín lénìí o. Can we do that? Àbí a máa rán ọ̀rọ̀ burúkú sí, ẹ̀rí oníranú ẹ̀ kò wá lénìí. So ọ̀n kò wà látàrí obìnrin ṣe kí ni o, ó gba Islam. Ẹ jẹ́ ká jẹ́ oníwà dáadáa. Látara wa, àwọn èèyàn máa gba Islam. Despite the fact that we are devoted in our spirit, let us be devoted in our character. That people will learn so much from us. Then when we talk of Prophet Musa, that Prophet Musa was so devoted. When you read the story of Prophet Musa, you will be so amazed. I read that manual and I kept reading it because I couldn't comprehend. Because I watched this, mo wo fíìmù ẹ̀ ni. Ìgbà tí mo wo fíìmù yẹn tán, I now felt that, who is this prophet that Allah loved so much? The lesson of Prophet Musa should be something tó yẹ kó máa ring ní bẹ́ẹ̀lì wa, nínú brain wa, telling us that nǹkan tó bá máa ṣẹlẹ̀ sẹ́dà, ó máa ṣe kí ni o, ó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ sí ni. Ẹ wo during the life of Prophet Musa gbà tó bí, kí ló pé wọ́n ṣẹlẹ̀ alẹ́ sọ́lá tó sàn, ọ̀n kan pa ọmọ ọkùnrin ni. Ọba ìlú yẹn ó ń pa ọmọ ọkùnrin ni because ọmọ ọkùnrin ló máa ṣe kí ni o, ló máa jẹ́ fìtínà fún. Kí ló Ọlọ́run bá ṣe? Ó instruct màmá ẹ̀ kó ṣe kí ni o, kó gbé sínú omi. Ọmọ tó wá ń pa yẹn, ọmọkùnrin tó ń pa yẹn, ó wá lọ wájú ilé ọba yẹn. Ọba tó ń pààyàn ló ṣe kí ni o, òun ló tọ́. Ẹ wo títóbi ọlọ́jà gbọ́dọ̀ ọba tóbi. Ọba tó ń pa ọmọkùnrin, òun ló ti ṣe kí ni o, òun ló tún tọ́ ọmọ yẹn. Everything in life has been decreed. Nǹkan tó bá ní ṣẹlẹ̀ sẹ́dà kò ní ṣẹlẹ̀ sí. Sọ fún yé wa yí pé ìgbà tọ́mọ ìtú dàgbà, ó tún ń ṣiṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run ọba. Allah will instruct him, àní lọ bá Freehound, sọ pé nǹkan báyìí ni kó ṣe. Tó o bá ṣe, nǹkan báyìí máa ṣẹlẹ̀ sí. He will go, he will tell him. A sọ pé mo sọ fún un. Tó bá ti Ọlọ́run bá ti lọ bá pé, go and tell him again. He should do this. If he doesn't do this, this will happen to him. Telling us that, that's why kò sọ fún Ọlọ́run bá pé Ọlọ́run bó ti sú mi o. Mi lọ sọ́dọ̀ Musa mọ́, mi lọ sọ́dọ̀ Freehound mọ́. He continued. He was going until they gained what? They gained freedom. So telling us that as a Muslim, no matter what we are doing, even when we are tired, iṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run bọ̀ òun sọ ẹ̀dá. I always tell people, ẹ má jẹ́ kí Ọlọ́run bá sáàkì wa. Nǹkan tó máa mú Ọlọ́run bá wa sáàkì ẹ̀ wà nínú iṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ kárí. You know sometimes ọmọ apá ẹlòmíì lọ leave. Nǹkan tó máa rí wa lọ sí leave ń jẹ iṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run ọba, Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ kárí. Nǹkan tó máa mú Ọlọ́run bá wa sáàkì wa nínú iṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ kárí. ọ̀rọ̀ àdúrà ńlá ni. If you're on leave, it means that a máa ṣe on and off. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ àrí nǹkan tá a máa fi ṣe leave. If Allah sack you, Ọlọ́run jẹ́ àrí ìbínú Ọlọ́run máa tó máa fi sack you wa. So as a Muslim, please, on this part of Islam, ẹ má jẹ́ ká rí ìbínú Ọlọ́run ba. Let's be devoted. No matter how busy we are, Allah will give us that strength to do the work. Ẹ kọ́ ni pé strength yẹn máa wá from nowhere ni. You will definitely do that work. So, next slide, please. So, then we have female companions. Due to time, we might not be able to dwell on that. We have female companions in the life of the prophet that have done so many things. Then when we say Islamic concept of dynamo, often you write a dynamo is a decorated woman, not just an ordinary woman. Kí ni mo pè? A decorated obìnrin ni. Wọ́n ní pè ní woman. She's decorated. Ẹni tẹ́ fi ẹ̀ṣọ́ sí lára ni. That is what we call a dynamo. When you want to call her somebody that's a servant of Allah, you won't say a servant of Allah. You will say a truth and devoted servant of Allah. That is a dynamo. She's what? She's a good mother. She's not just an ordinary mother. She's what? She's a good mother. She's a loving wife, an adoring daughter, a great and a loving sister, a devoted worker, a wonderful neighbor, and an impactful individual and possessor of good and wonderful in-laws. As devoted dynamo. You are not just an ordinary mother. For you to be a dynamo, don't see your wife, don't see yourself as just a mother. You must have an adjective behind you. Are you a good mother or a bad mother? You have to ask yourself. Are you a good wife or a bad wife? You have to ask yourself that question. Next slide, please. So I feel for you to be a mother. Next slide. For you to be a good mother, there must be some characteristics which you have to possess. That for a mother, you must provide emotional and physical support for your children. Let's try as much as possible that we give them the best of all. Let's try as much as possible. We devote our time, everything. Because the moment our mother eba ṣe dáadáa lọ́la, ìwúrí wa ni. And the moment ọba yabo mi, ìwúrí wa ni. So let's try as much as possible to do those things, to ensure that let's give them what we are expected to give them. I will tell us today, it's not easy to train a child. My sister, it's not easy to train a child. If you train your child today and you are successful, if you train a child today and that or children, and for those people, never look down at them. Never in your life. And I say, never ridicule anybody. Because for you that have done it, it's not your power. For those people that are unable to do it, only Nikolofin, but achieve. I always tell us, she tried her best too, but that best was not enough. Only fún wọn lóúnjẹ. Oúnjẹ ò ń ṣe gbìyànjú. Ìgbìyànjú náà ni. Ó lè bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ pẹ́rẹ́fẹ́. But that best was what? Was not enough. But there is no more than heart. No mother, except only few. Ló máa bímọ sáyé. Tó máa retí pé kọ́mọ yòó kó ṣe kí ni o? Kó lọ sọ́nà àánú. No mother on earth will ever do that. But for you to have that grace to raise a child or to raise children, ẹ wá rí ọmọ yẹn, inú yín wá ń dùn. Ẹ jẹ́ ká máa dúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run ọba. But for the other people, let us still continue trying. You see somebody will sit down and ask herself, where did I go wrong? Because he must have believed, or she, òun ti ṣe so many things. Do you want to say Prophet Nuh went wrong? Do you want to tell us that Ànábì Nuh kò tọ́mọ dáadáa? Ọmọ dẹ̀ ṣe kí ni o? Ó ya kàfèrí. So the most important thing in life, let us gbìyànjú. I'm not saying we should not do anything. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbìyànjú gbogbo nǹkan tó yẹ ká ṣe ká fi ṣe. Gbogbo ọ̀nà tó yẹ ká tọ̀ ní ká tọ̀. Tá bá rí ọmọ yẹn ṣe, kò sí bí ọmọ máa ṣe tọ́ ọmọ tó ní ọmọ tọ́. And kò sí bí ọmọ máa ṣe wà tá à ní ní àwọn problems. And that is the problem we have today, mothers. We compare children. A máa ń fọmọ wé ọmọ ni. Maybe in your place of work, ọmọ ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀ tó wà ń bẹ̀, gbogbo wọn ló ní first class. Ọmọ ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀ tó wà ń bẹ̀, gbogbo wọn ló ń ṣe dáadáa, wà wá délé. Nǹkan kékeré tọ́mọ ẹ bá ṣe báyìí èébú ní aláìnójútì. Àwọn ẹgbẹ́ ẹ níbi iṣẹ́ mi, kí ni result wọ? 1 point. Ó mọ nǹkan tóun gbà 5 points. Owó tó níwà yìí, báwo nǹkan tóun ń ṣe? So we have to be very careful the way we talk to our children. They might have their issues. They might have so many things going on in their life. Let's try as much as possible. Tí wàhálà bá ti ṣẹlẹ̀, let's stand by them. We all have faults. Tọ́mọ bá ti ṣe mistake. The father will have his fault. The mother will have his fault. Her fault. Then the children náà, ó máa ní fault. At that time, don't let us speak fault. Don't let us speak anything to máa create problem. The most important thing is that let's go ahead. Let's pray. Let's see how we can help that child. Please, next slide, please. So we can go through the slides because we don't have time. When we talk of stages in child upbringing, so we can go to. So as a parent, try as much as possible to establish foundation of faith in your child. Teaching Quranic values, character development, you encourage act of worship, a culture of learning, sense of community, emotional intelligence, discipline, leading by example, and spending quality time with our children. Ṣẹ́gun nǹkan tá a sọ yìí, because of time, I might not be able to touch it. They are very important in the life of our children. We have to be very careful. Most especially, leading by example. Most of our òbí, nǹkan tá most of us, nǹkan tí a tà ń ṣe lọ́wọ́ ọmọ yẹn ń ṣe. Unknowingly, a fi kọ́ wọn ni, a dẹ̀ mọ̀. Let me tell you something. Like me, if I want to sit down, just simple thing, if I'm sitting, I don't have good posture when I sit. I don't have good posture. When you sit right, I don't sit right. I'll just sit somehow. My girl took over me. When she sits that way. I was just wondering that why does she sit this way? And I just sit, I don't sit right. And now she started complaining backache. Do me. And when you don't have good posture, you just as simple as that. Just sitting posture, she just took it. Nǹkan tá a bá ń sọ lọmọ á máa sọ. Ìwà tá a bá ń wù lọ́wọ́ á máa wù. Iṣẹ́ tá a bá ń ṣe lọmọ á máa ṣe. Who are we to our children? Let's ask ourselves. Who are we? There's a nǹkan kan ṣẹlẹ̀ ní iṣẹ́ mi 2 weeks ago. Ìyàn kan lára àwọn ọmọ colleague mi ó jáde. Ọmọ ẹ wá padà, wọ́n ti lọ́lé, wọ́n ti dágbére, ọmọ ẹ wá padà wá. Àwọn bèèrè lọ́wọ́ ọmọ yẹn pé, màmá ẹ̀ ń kọ́. You know what she told us? Mọ́mì mi ti lọ. She now ran out. Ó wá padà wá. Ó wà ń sàlẹ̀ o, nǹkan tó yẹ kí n sọ fún yín ni mo sọ fún yín yẹn. And she left. You heard that. Ó wà ń sàlẹ̀ o, nǹkan tó sọ yẹ kí n sọ fún yín yẹn ni mo sọ fún yín. That she is downstairs. But she said when I get to the office, if they ask, tell them that I have gone. Things we do to our children. They see us doing so many things. They see us lying. Sometimes we'll be on phone, we'll be talking to our people. Wàlẹ́ ó rẹ̀ mí gan o. Àná yẹn mi tiẹ̀ sí mi. Mo kàn ń ṣe wàhálà ni. Àná yẹn mi ò sí mi, mo ń ṣe wàhálà. You that slept all 2 years. and your child saw you sleeping all through yesterday, or your husband came home, wọ́n wá bèrè pé oúnjẹ ebi tiẹ̀ ń pa mí gan o, mi ì jẹun látàárọ̀ o, and she saw you took pap, we should understand that pap is not food. It's you that you are defining that ògì ò ń ṣe oúnjẹ. That's your definition of food. But to that child, she saw you put something in your mouth, then you are saying, mi ì tí ì jẹun kankan láti ìgbà tí mo ti jí báyìí, mi ì tí ì jẹun àjẹun, whereas you took pap. But your own definition, pap is not what? Pap is not food. So we should just try as much as possible what we teach our children. We should be what? We should be leaders by example. Then we have to spend quality time with them. Please, spend quality time with your children. When I say quality time, I mean quality time. Because most of us, we don't have that time, I will tell you. We don't have that time. Gbogbo ala máa jáde. Láti Monday títí di Friday a lọ bí iṣẹ́. Àná báyìí ìjáde ni. Èní báyìí náà a ti wà ń bí báyìí. But if it is 2 hours we have, my sisters, let that 2 hours be 2 quality hours. We'll be at home. I'm a busy, I'm a complain, mo ń ṣiṣẹ́, mo busy, mo ṣe kinní kan. Whereas anytime we are at home, is that we are watching TV, or we are sleeping, or we are doing something else? No. Anytime you are at home, let's try as much as possible that we spend quality, impactful time with them, so that they will always appreciate that mommy is at home today. So next slide, please. So we try as much as possible. So looking at this, child upbringing is important. But there are some things that could affect child upbringing, which is what? Marital challenges. Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ kí ilé ọkọ wa dàrú o. Ọlọ́run á fi gbogbo wa lọ́kàn balẹ̀. Nobody plans to get married and have issues. But it does happen. When it happens, we want to kill ourselves. No. There is no human being tó máa fẹ́ marry. Even the sisters night would have shown us that I want a happy home. Ṣé jọ́ ta máa ń jó yẹn kọ́ ni? Ta máa jó jójó? Àbí gbogbo oríṣiríṣi ta wọ̀ ni? Àbí gbogbo package ta kó lé ọlé ọkọ yẹn ni? But sometimes it does happen. And when it happens, that is not the end of life. We all have issues. Nǹkan tó bá kọjú sí A, kọ́ ló máa kọjú sí B. That is one thing we have to understand. So there is no way marital challenges will not happen. And I will tell you, if anybody comes outside and tell you that, oh, I have a perfect marriage, tell that person, my sister, you are a liar. There is no perfect marriage on earth. There is no perfect one. We are all patching. We are all patching. There's nobody that will come outside today that ọkọ tí mo fẹ́ is a perfect man. Ìyàwó tí mo fẹ́ is a perfect man. Bó ṣe ń gbé mi lọ́wọ́ ló ń gbé mi lẹ́sẹ̀. Bó ṣe ń fọwọ́ pa mí lórí ló ń fọwọ́ pa mí lẹ́sẹ̀. A máa ń jáde, a máa ń ṣe irọ́ ló ń pa o. There's nothing, my sister. There's nothing like a perfect marriage. We are patching, we are mending, and we are hoping for what? We are hoping for the best. So let's continue to hope. But one thing I'll have to tell us is that most of us, we go into marriage with emotions. That is one nǹkan tó máa ń create marital problem. We go into marriage with emotions. Àti máa wò marriage bed of roses. Bọ̀dá yẹn, no, that brother is loving. Tá bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ lórí phone before marriage, báyìí, tẹ́ bá ń gbọ́ oríṣiríṣi nǹkan tó máa ń sọ. He's going to be a superman. He's going to be so agile on bed. He's going to, this and that. Àti wo gbogbo ẹ̀ tó, àti dream ẹ̀. By the time we now saw that brother, a máa wò pa, ẹjọ́ ṣẹ́yìn lélẹ̀ àbẹ́yìn kọ́. You know, okay, brother Abdulwasi. I okay, brother Abdulwasi. Ẹ wà ṣọ́ọ̀pù ẹ̀yìn lélẹ̀. So my sisters, there is no perfect one. We are all managing. So when you want to marry, gbogbo àwọn qualities obìnrin devoted dynamo yẹn ló need. You just need those things to make yourself happy. Don't tie your happiness to any person on earth. Don't tie your happiness to your man. Tie your happiness to who? To Allah. Because it's only Allah that can give you happiness. It's only Allah. that can give you happiness. When Allah gives you happiness, you have everything láti thank Ọlọ́run Ọba. So never give your happiness to anybody. The other thing, apart from emotions, any little thing your husband does, àti flare up. Any little thing your husband does, ẹ ti ń complain. This man is not an angel. You should understand. Those are emotions that create problem. The other thing is that is what you put into that marriage you have in return. Most of us, we don't understand that. Anything you put into that marriage, if you put patience in that marriage, you get patience in return. If you put love into that marriage, you get that love in. Anything you put, you get it back. Even when you are putting, he's not putting. Keep putting your own. A time will come, he will look at himself. Kí ló dé? Ẹni máa ń gbìyànjú láti jọ ọjọ́ yìí. Mi ì máa rí ṣe. So as a lady, let's try as much as possible to cultivate some habits. Tó yẹ pé ó máa fún wa lọ́kàn balẹ̀. It's not everything we talk. It's not everything we fight for. Must we fight all the time? Must we talk all the time? Must we complain? One thing we don't know is that ṣé tá bá ti ń rojọ́ yẹn, tá bá ti ń complain yẹn, ó máa ń fún wọn strength ni. But by the time you just leave things to go, àwọn náà máa ń come to their sense. Let me just give you an instance. There was a day I want to tell my husband something. So I just say, mo nothing kankan mọ́. He just say, he just shuts me down. I just say, mi fẹ́ gbọ́, mi mọ̀ nǹkan tó fẹ́ sọ mi dẹ̀ fẹ́. I now thought, while I was annoyed that day, I was extremely annoyed because, when he wanted to say, I was happy, I wanted to say, and he just shot me. If I had to use mad, I would use that statement. I was mad. But what I just decided is that I don't like begging for things. When I know Timba Bue, Mama so sorry. Why not let me not abuse you so that I won't even say sorry? And that is a principle you have to learn. You know if you do something, you apologize. Why don't do that thing? Now you don't need to apologize. You know what I did? It was in the night. I just stood up. I just finished playing. I just stood up. I folded the mat. I did not say anything, no. I just folded the mat. I just removed my clothes. And I just went to the bedroom. I opened the shower. And I was bathing. Did I say anything? Have I offended anybody? I just left. The next I just saw somebody behind me, bathing. And I looked like this. Etideni. Have I offended them? That is just it. And that is just the secret of life. Because it felt bad. But who will beg? I will have to go and beg. Emma Binu. And that is one thing about life. He came to what? He came to. The rest of the story is what? Is behind the scene. Or you want to hear? So that is just one thing about it. This life is so simple. Don't let us create problems for ourselves. It's not everything we fight for. What doesn't want to be fought for? Why do we fight for it? We don't need any fight. The only thing we need is just peace of mind. By the time you are patient, by the time you are calm, by the time you are loving, you see them, they will come and beg. They won't say sorry, but they have their ways of saying sorry. So solving marital problems, challenges, you communicate. You can see, communicate. Let's learn to communicate. Recognize when you are in a gridlock. Let's understand when we are having issues. The next one, express yourself constructively. If you have issues with your man, ẹ jẹ́ ká sọ fún wọn. Tá bá ń bínú, ẹ má sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn o. That's the mistake we have. Be constructive. When he does something, at that moment, ẹ ń bínú, don't discuss that issue. And that's what my husband will say, pé tó bá ń bínú, tó bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ fún mi, ṣé máa ń gbọ́ ni? Máa pé no, tó yẹ kí o ṣe wá ń sọ. It's a simple thing. Swallow your pride. Even apologize. By the time you discuss that issues with him, he will be willing to understand. Then break any cause of familiarity. Unnecessary thing to create on familiarity, break it. Let us familiarize ourselves with our husband. Let's try as much as possible we do that. We'll make decisions together. We acknowledge our spouse feelings. Understand that it's not a competition. Marriage is not a competition. Are you competing with your second person? Eh. So please, then understand, keep a positive attitude. You give your partner space and seek counsel. If you're having issues, seek counsel. Next slide, please. Let's seek counsel when we are having issues. Next slide. Next slide, please. So it's very important. Then we practice these seven golden rules. It's very important. You might not need to stick to it. It's not compulsory. And the rule says, you and your husband, you can go for a date once a week. Go for a date with your husband once a week. The other one is that going for a night together once every 7 weeks. And going on holiday